Good morning from DC. I'm here on the corner of Park and 11th at Meridian Pint during the Cherry Blossom Festival. I haven't come to look at the cherry blossoms, I've actually come to judge some beer. So sit back and learn a little something about how we evaluate beer during an official homebrew competition. The flowers are blooming, the birds are beeing, the beads are birding, and a bunch of amateur beer judges are lining up to spend the morning underneath Meridian Pint. Why? We don't get paid to do this. We do it for the craft itself. Welcome to Homebrew Competitions, one of the high watermarks for any homebrewer. So here's what's going to happen with a homebrew competition. Homebrewers have entered their beers basically as volunteers. So what we do as judges is sample each beer and evaluate it with one of these score sheets. It's a process of aroma, flavor, appearance, mouthfeel, and an overall impression. The purpose of these kind of competitions is to make better brewers. So we try to give good advice on how to improve the beer and let the brewer know what he's done right, maybe what he's done wrong, and how to do it better next time. This kind of event takes manpower and organization. Judges to fill out the sheets, stewards to bring the beers out and help keep the math straight, and organizers to wrangle all these cats. The world of beer is divided into several categories of style. It doesn't work to judge a Munich lager against a Russian Imperial Stout, for example. The aspects that make a great beer great are unique to each style. Homebrew judges spend enormous amounts of time studying these styles and the brewing process in order to offer objective input on what is inherently a subjective experience. In a homebrew competition, these styles are split into flights so that each judge may take only 6 to 10 entries and keep from swilling his or her way home in a taxi. On my flight, I had the opportunity to meet a steward who was brand new to the experience and a genuine cicerone whose experience far outpaced my own. What's your name?
Will Lanning.
And are you a BJCP judge?
I'm not. I've passed the online exam, and I'm studying now for the tasting exam.
Okay, and why do you even want to do all of this?
It's a very good question that I ask myself all the time as I go through the style guidelines. But I've just always been really interested in beer, and I like different types of beers, and it's just a lot of fun to explore the different styles and learn as I go. And it's fun to drink them, too.
Now, you were our steward today at our
Yes.
table. Is this the first time you ever stewarded a competition?
First time ever.
Okay. And how would you rate this competition?
It was my first time ever entering a competition, stewarding, or anything. But it was a lot of fun. I think the highlight for me was actually just being able to kind of listen to you guys, the judges, and to learn from you. And hear you talk about those kind of like off flavors or different, specific aspects of the beer that I wouldn't have been able otherwise to really identify. So it was a really good learning experience.
I usually do this at brew club meetings.
All right.
My name is Brett Robinson. I'm a bar manager at Republic, located in Tacoma Park.
And we just finished judging a table of American Brown and American Amber ales and one California Common. Why do you want to participate in this whole process of judging beer?
I've been a beer geek for a while now. I mean, I think it all kind of relates to tasting that first beer that wasn't fizzy yellow stuff, and ever since then I've fallen in love with the process of tasting beer. And I also do it for a living, so that's why.
How about the homebrewers out there? Do you feel like you've truly helped some people with your input?
I think so. I hope so. Who knows, right?
That's all the point,
They're
right?
probably like, hey, this guy's the worst. No. It's I think so. I submit stuff to competitions myself. I always like getting a second opinion. You feel like one way about your beer, and your friends are most likely to be like, yeah, man, it's great, just because you made it. So usually I benefit both from tasting myself and then also submitting my own stuff. So I very much believe in the process.
And there's clearly a difference between the styles that we're given to judge by and then what is made commercially. As a bar manager, have you run into great beers that would do terrible in a competition?
Oh, all the time. I mean, that's pretty regular. I think, styles work as a good framework for specific feedback on procedure, ingredients, things like that. I think I've gone through the whole gamut myself of like, oh, styles are the worst. It's not true, actually. Brewing to style can be really beneficial from a learning perspective. You can't break the rules until you know them.
Putting the details together for one of these events isn't easy. In fact, it can be murder.
All right, what's your name and what's your responsibilities here?
My name's Stephen Clapham. I am the head judge for the Cherry Blossom competition.
How much work goes into getting judges and stools for this kind of thing?
So you send things out to the listserv. The BJCP supplies us with a pretty robust list. Getting people to sign up sometimes can be difficult, and getting them to stay signed up. We did this competition the weekend of Easter, and we're not going to do that again next year. I got a lot of responses I'm traveling for the weekend, even though it's not Easter. It's the same weekend, so people weren't able to do it. I had 35 judges signed up as of a week ago. I had 9 drop out in the last week, but we also managed to wrangle 5 or 6 new ones. So, everything's going smoothly, but it was a little bit of emotional roller coaster there for a while.
Aside from decent feedback on their beers, what else can a homebrewer expect to win or gain from a competition like this?
Well, you can get ribbons, you can get the knowledge that you won. That has value to a lot of people. I like winning myself. But, getting feedback, a lot of times they can tell you what's wrong with it. If you have an off flavor and you don't know what it is or how to get rid of it, hopefully the more experienced judge should be able to tell you that.
Have you had anyone come to you after a competition like this completely complaining about the results?
I have, in 10 years of judging, been emailed once after a competition, and somebody had a wood-aged beer, and they didn't tell us what kind of wood-aged beer it was. So, a lot of the styles, it says, this is a wooded porter or a wooded stout, and we didn't know what it was. And he said, oh, well, we wrote it on the bottle, but the judges don't get all of the information in the bottle. We get what we're told, so sometimes there is that little disconnect there, and that was the only time I've gotten a complaint.
So on the whole, homebrewers are good sports.
Yes, absolutely. It's people who make beer for fun.
Meanwhile, upstairs, there's a beautiful spring day happening above ground. And the DC locals are out in full force to enjoy the day here at Meridian Pint. You know what? I think I'll join them.
Well, that's all the homebrew competition hijinks for me for one day. The weather's too nice to sit inside all day, so I'm going to let you guys go, and I'll see you next week on the Beer Atlantic. I'm here on, where the hell am I?